fall out, all of all bow wow, call tall pow, south side, outside, pow out like missile thought, fire bounce higher, powers out now. I was outside, now my power pow now. Eyes wide, should've speak utterly upside down, camera obscura, power down scuba, mama in Cuba, my it sounds good now. Out and about, title bout, bow, how loud, high loud, Mutai, Aztec, forearm, Nasdaq, abstract, vacuum rockin' chow down, hazmat to deuces, diametrically outbound. Matter of fact, pass that ginger pop in the cooler than the medulla of Rick the ruler. Hula hooping with new bow downs from Nuba. That's that life of a king, got my crown now, feeling accomplished. Super looper fresh chocolate, collectible conscious, young crunk in your town now. Via minor aircraft, snapping like a bear trap. Tijuana Air Max, chainmail gauntlet. Big Bertha earthquakes, 100 dB, 90 BPM, heavy hitting them triplets, 100-sided dice, rolling 79 twice. Get ready, we bringing the jazz back with the rhythm, we giving them influence on some Midwest liquid mission, tricky nicks and mixing, matching, scratching, rapping, action, Jackson making it happen, pap it, midi, patch it, map it with a pinch of magic, casting master sentences, with a gang of wicked vixens listening close to us, flipping different widgets, mystic digits, coast to coast, pole to pole, folding time, golden time. Overload on.
Alright, boom, we're back. Alright, so yeah, I took a break for a second because I had to do a bunch of programming. I had to do a bunch of, we're dropping this software later this month. The periodic matrix of scratches, PMOS 100, right? So, I thought it was just going to take me like 2 days to do the audio mastering and stuff like that, but it ended up taking me like weeks to do it actually. I really went in and every single scratch is perfected in the sampler that's dropping. But we're gonna drop all types of software coming up soon. But yeah, so we're continuing on part 2 of we've been covering the hip-hop stories of the hip-hop cults that have been going on. And so Rashad Jamal has a second and third follower that have just slain somebody, and there's also a woman, Yasmine Hider, but I believe a 20-year-old slayed a woman slayed a guy named Adam Simjee in Alabama, And I'm also going to be talking about, just real quickly, brief update in my own life. The guy that, one of the guys that slayed one of my cousins has been slayed himself. But that's a whole nother series of videos I'll be doing in the future. But today we're just going to go through most of the Adam Simjee, rest in peace, Adam Simjee, the Adam Simjee news stories. So this is the second Rashad Jamal disciple to slay someone. We already covered the Damien one, but we're gonna cover this next one. Okay, so Planet Nern is this like fictitious planet from the Elder Scrolls. That's why I played that intro, because a lot of these disassociated people are believing this stuff, believing the 9 universes in Thor and things like that as if it's real, right? So here at T-Team Academy, we deal with actual facts. And so this is going to be a compilation of a bunch of the news articles dealing with this story. But yeah, so this is this fictitious planet that a lot of his followers believe in, but now we've seen his disciples are actually slaying people. And when you have people believing in a cult leader and actually rolling out and slaying people, it's obviously a danger to society. And this is such a new underground thing that that's happening within hip hop. The hip hop cults are also in the pop realm as well, but it's most of the pop stuff is just the typical gang stuff. But within this underground stuff, you see that the actual kind of brainwashing and stuff like that is happening in the conscious community and a lot of the underground communities. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. So let me play these videos. All right, we're gonna start with this one right here.
People doing what they love, hiking.
They love traveling together.
A young couple doing what they love.
So basically, what happened before we start these articles, Rashad Jamal's disciple, Yasmine Hider, she was her and her friend, who's also associated with Ellie, the Sovereign Empress, on this woman right here, with Rashad Jamal, and so they're actual disciples. It's this woman right here, Yasmine Hider. She actually is the one that murdered Adam Simjee, and she set up her Facebook's still up. If you people are commenting on their pages. This is Yasmine Hider, right? And so yeah, it's just really really deep what's happened, and the fact that I've been covering the story, and shout out to Beam Team, shout out to Kulu, shout out to King World. It's just a small number of people that have been covering this story, and we're actually going to show this breaking picture from Kulu. Shout out to Kulu live stream once again. And this is Ellie, who's one of who's just been severed ties with Rashad Jamal's wife. Just that they're kind of coming for each other. But she was involved with the University of Cosmic Intelligence, which is banned as a keyword on YouTube. And speaking of algorithms, I'm going to keep this lecture very short. We're going to stay within like a half an hour to under 45 minutes. I notice algorithm-wise, they're being oppressive when people are dropping videos over a certain length right now in this particular algorithm period. They switch the algorithms around. So right now I'm shadow banned and as I've been before, but you saw they gave me a portal a couple months ago, right? So they were giving people portals. But yeah, so but we're going to continue to bring the facts and the data, right? Yeah, so this past month I had to do a bunch of programming, but I'm back now. All right, so and as far as that, let me actually go to let's see. Well, we'll do that in another lecture. I'm gonna keep the turntablist stuff and the MC stuff separate. So we're covering MCs and rap culture, and right now the pop rap culture and the underground rap culture are in this kind of cult phase, and it seems like 2022 is the kind of climax of it. It's like a big pimple being popped.
Hiking state parks, but they didn't know this photo near Talladega National Forest would be the last one they took together.
They were driving, and this girl flagged them down that she needed help with her car. So they stopped.
The couple, Adam Simjee and Michaela Paulus, tried to help the woman for more than 30 minutes. And when they couldn't fix the car, that's when deputies say the woman tried to rob them.
She told them to put up their hands, give them the keys and their cell phones, and they did.
But Adam had protection of his own.
She had them at gunpoint the whole time, and I guess she put the gun down some, and that's when he pulled out his gun and told her to drop hers. And then I guess she shot him and he shot her back a couple times.
Michaela's mother, Heather Lambert, tells me she's thankful Adam had a gun and protected her daughter.
I don't know how Michaela didn't even get shot in all of that. But she had taken off her shirt to try to stop the bleeding. And then she was called 911 and she was giving him chest compressions. She thinks he was alive for at least 20 minutes, but it took them 30 minutes to get there. I don't know what would have happened if he didn't have the gun on him.
Adam died in the woods, and when police arrived, Clay County sheriffs say they found another suspect, Krystal Pinkins, and took her into custody.
So, and her Facebook is up as well. This is Krystal Pinkins. And this story might not mention it, but her 4-year-old child, I'm sure one of the stories that we covered today will cover that. Her child was, or maybe 5-year-old child had a shotgun in the woods. I mean, it sounds like a movie, right? But it's real. Her son had a shotgun in the woods when the police found they had been living in an off-grid camp. They had, their basically, were living out in kind of a off-grid community, and they were robbing people, But yeah, so let's go back to the story.
Told them that they were trying to live off the grid. They were trying to live out in the woods.
Lambert says she's thankful her daughter is home safe, and she says Adam died a hero.
There is no one like Adam. They completed each other. They really did.
It's very, very sad, right? But yeah, we're going to move on. So we're going to go to here, right here. This next one.
Michaela Paulus's Facebook tells the story. A happy young couple loving the outdoors, planning to get married, until their story ended at a state park in Alabama on August 14th. On Facebook, Michaela wrote, "No words can begin to describe the shock and pain I'm in. It comforts me to say he passed in one of his favorite places, the forest in the mountains." Police say the couple was driving in the park when a woman flagged them down, claiming car trouble. When she pulled a gun and tried to rob them, Simjee pulled out his own gun and they exchanged gunfire. The woman was hurt. Simjee died at the scene. Authorities tracked a second woman into the woods where they found an encampment of people apparently living in tents. Simjee today being remembered for his warm smile and selfless nature. Condolences flooding into Paulus's social media. She wrote, "Thank you all so much for the support and love. It's the main thing keeping me going right now. I'm so happy Adam is getting recognized as the hero he was. He was so selfless and would do anything for someone he loved. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd be here right now."
And we went into the rhetoric of Rashad Jamal, his doctrine that, leads people to do things like this, as with Damien that we covered in the past, of him slaying his mom and trying to slay the rest of his family with the dull ninja sword that he bought online. There's been an update, in a Vice News article. His father was actually interviewed recently, and he said that a bunch of choppers came in the mail as well, and a bunch of he had bought thousands in crystals from the University of Cosmic Intelligence, and the dad tried to sell them back to them, and that's when the dad found out about Rashad Jamal being in jail and all that stuff. So it's like, it's really, really crazy, because he was Damien Washam that slayed his mom, literally was trying to be on some Blade type of stuff and taking out reptilians or whatever. He was Rashad's mixing violence and out there UFOism stuff, right?
Thank you for watching. All
right, so let's go to the next story.
Charges have now been filed in a deadly attempted robbery near Mount Cheahaw in the Talladega National Forest. Krystal Pinkins and Yasmine Hider now charged with murder, robbery, and kidnapping. Investigators say that Yasmine Hider tried robbing Michaela Paulus and her boyfriend Adam Simjee as they went for a hike. Well, Simjee also had a gun on him and he started firing. Simjee was killed. Hider was shot several times and rushed to the hospital. Investigators say that Pinkins was also there and ran during the shooting to a large camp of people living off the grid. Well, once deputies arrived at the camp, they spotted Pinkins and a 5-year-old holding a loaded shotgun. Well, Pinkins was arrested and that child is now in DHS custody. Charges.
So yeah, this is all very, very new stuff. Let's continue.
5 now, a UCF student is killed while out with his girlfriend in an Alabama state park.
Investigators say the pair was flagged down by a woman claiming to need help. That's when they say she pulled out a gun and fired a shot. News 6's Catherine Silver is hearing from the dad of the victim's girlfriend. Catherine, really just an unbelievable story. What did he have to say?
Well, he wants people to know what kind of person Adam Simjee was. He says that he died protecting his daughter.
I don't know if my daughter would be here today, but I'm very thankful that she is.
Matt Paulus calls 22-year-old Adam Simjee a hero for his actions in his final moments. He credits him for saving his daughter, Michaela Paulus's life when their end of summer trip took a tragic turn.
1,643 days they were together. One day ruined.
And he didn't have to stop for them, most people would just keep it moving, like, yo, I'm not going to help these people. And it just shows how good heart of a person he was to actually, to go against, prejudice and stop and help another, human. But they saw him as not human, as we discussed in, the past video about Rashad Jamal's rhetoric. All right.
Most of that.
Or I'll say doctrine, not even rhetoric, because
According to a
it's totally craziness.
statement from the Clay County Sheriff's Office in Alabama, Michaela called 911 after her boyfriend was shot during an attempted robbery. She told deputies Simjee, who was carrying a concealed handgun, exchanged gunfire with one suspect before he died.
It's just a horrific situation all the way around.
So let's go back to here. This is the woman. This is Yasmine Hider, and yeah, her Facebook is strangely still up, and people are coming for her. It's just like, this is definitely her, right? But what's interesting is, so this one guy's like, no, it's not her, but it's like everybody's like, it was her, right? And they're using the little Dicky meme thing, but yeah, it's very, very interesting because this is a very, this is a hip hop issue. You're not going to see academics covering this, and I think it's just, the conscious community is kind of going through a nexus right now where you see a lot of these guys are getting, platforms, and I'm gonna actually, I sent, Bro Rich a message about it, but if I see him, I'm gonna, ask him about all this, because a lot of these people that he's been giving platforms to are ending up scamming a lot of people. So what's really been going on in the conscious community, is a lot of scamming and a lot of cults, so let's wrap this up. Try to keep this like very, very short. All right.
Paulus says the couple planned to take pictures at a mountain lookout.
They were going to find a spot somewhere where Adam probably could propose to them because they had been very serious about the relationship. On their way out, they had a girl flagging them down with some car troubles. And
Paulus, who is a mechanic, says they called him to ask for advice. Minutes later, they were both held at gunpoint. The Clay County Sheriff's Office says 2 women are now facing charges. They shared this picture of Krystal Pinkins. The second suspect, who is accused of shooting Simjee, Yasmine Hider, remains in the hospital.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows there's a lot more good people than there are bad people.
Paulus says his daughter and Simjee plan to build their life together. Both of their families are now left heartbroken.
He was a quiet type, but he meant what he said, and he did what he would say. He's definitely somebody you would be proud to call your son-in-law.
Paulus tells me that the young couple loved to travel together, and this trip was actually supposed to be their last of the summer before they would start the fall semester at UCF. Simjee was studying finance there. Now his friends and family are planning for his funeral. There is a fundraiser to help with those expenses. We have a link on clickorlando.com. I'm live in Apopka. Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
Adam had his gun on him the whole time because he said this is how people get robbed. So I was just waiting for him to.
It's also interesting that people aren't calling this a hate crime, because obviously if you look at their doctrine, they hate this technically was a hate crime because they hate people of their caste.
Use it.
A Florida woman now.
Of the people that attacked these 2 people that tried to help Adam and his girlfriend, it was definitely a hate crime.
Now sharing the story of how helping a stranded driver in the Talladega Forest Sunday led to a shootout in the woods. Her boyfriend dead and 2 women now charged with murder.
Hello, everyone. The Clay County Sheriff's Office now says the suspects appear to have camped in the Talladega Forest.
Authorities say in the camp, they also found a 5-year-old boy who charged them armed with a shotgun. ABC 3340's Stephen Quinn spoke tonight with Michaela Paulus, whose boyfriend was killed during the robbery attempt. And Stephen Paulus says that she found herself at one point alone in the woods with her boyfriend's killer.
Brenda, Michaela Paulus is back in Florida tonight with her family. Her boyfriend, Adam Simjee, and her were set to begin a new chapter in college together next week. Now, as for the woman who she says killed her boyfriend, Michaela says she said everything she needed to in those woods. Michaela Paulus and Adam Simjee's road trip was meant to celebrate the beginning of their new journey together at the University of Central Florida. It ended in bloodshed. Sunday started with a trip to Mount Cheeha, where they found Yasmine Hider seemingly stranded on the side of the road. Fate then seemed to intervene.
He had just bought this huge battery pack and made sure that we charged it the night before.
Michaela is also the daughter of a mechanic.
I even called my dad and we watched YouTube videos and stuff to try and fix her car, but she, at the end, when nothing could be done, she pulled out a gun and told us to walk into the woods.
Hider told them to drop their phones. She asked for banking passwords, but Michaela knew something she didn't.
Adam had his gun on him the whole time because he said this is how people get robbed, so I was just waiting for him to use it.
She described what happened next.
Her guard dropped after she had asked for all the banking passwords and stuff, and Adam pulled out his gun and told her to get on the ground, and that's when she started messing around with her gun. It jammed once, but they both shot at each other, and she was shot a few times, and he was shot only once.
Michaela found her phone and called 911. Adam was bleeding, so she used her shirt to desperately try to stop it. He never woke up.
He literally was like an angel on earth already. Everyone that met him loved him. He was always making jokes and being goofy.
It took nearly 30 minutes for paramedics to arrive. Michaela says she found herself alone in the woods with the woman who killed her boyfriend of 4 years, the man she loved, the man she lived with. So what did she tell her?
We would have given you food and money. I already told her, she didn't have to shoot. I think I've said everything I need to say to her until we go to court.
Now, during all of this, Paulus came to the realization that a second woman, Krystal Pinkins, was also there. She's been charged with murder along with Hines, and she was also found at the camp along with her 5-year-old son, who Brenda described was armed with a shotgun when police arrived. Now, as for Michaela, she is back in Florida, and she tells me she's leaning on friends and family to get through this week. She's also putting off beginning her master's work at Central Florida, which she was supposed to begin Monday alongside her boyfriend. Brenda?
And a Apopka man shot and killed protecting his girlfriend while visiting a state park in Alabama.
Deputies there say the couple was robbed at gunpoint and then the shooting. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte spoke with the girlfriend today.
His girlfriend wasn't ready to speak on camera, but I talked with her outside of her house today, and it was truly just heartbreaking. This is such a sad story, and she describes her boyfriend as her hero who died to protect her. Broken. She shared this video of the simple, sweet, and silly moments of her and the love of her life, Adam Simjee. She says this is a photo of them just 1 hour before they were held at gunpoint Sunday morning at Cheeha State Park in Alabama. Adam was shot and killed. Michaela tells me they've been together for 4 years and loved hiking. They were on a trip just before the 2 UCF students were supposed to return to campus Monday. Michaela tells me while hiking, they saw someone waving their hands on a National Forest service road at the park, claiming they had car trouble. She said they went over to try to help fix the car, but then the woman turned on them, pulling out a gun and started asking for money and their bank account numbers. Michaela says the woman shot Adam in the stomach area, and Adam shot that woman in the leg, hurting her badly. She said Adam had a gun in his waistband that he took while they were hiking. Michaela says Adam stopped the gunman from hurting her, saving her life. This is a picture of another woman accused of being involved in the robbery. She ran off after the shooting, but has since been arrested by the sheriff's office in Alabama. The shooter survived and was airlifted to the hospital. Michaela tells me she took off her shirt and was holding it against his stomach to try to stop the bleeding, but said it took a little bit for paramedics to get there because they were deep in the woods, and it was just too late.
Now to that deadly shooting near an East Alabama state park. Family members say a GoFundMe account has raised enough money for murder victim Adam Simjee's funeral. Simjee and Michaela Paulus came from Florida to hike in the park when two women approached them for help with a car. That turned into a robbery attempt and shooting where Simjee was killed. Michaela says it didn't have to be that way.
We would have given you food and money. I already told her, she didn't have to shoot. I think I've said everything I need to say to her until we go to court.
One murder suspect is in the Clay County Jail. The other remains in UAB Hospital after being wounded by Simjee.
We're learning more about where a hiker was fatally shot over the weekend in Clay County.
So sheriff's deputies responded to the call.
So you see a lot of news is covering this in the South, but you don't see the hip hop community talking about this. Why is that?
It was on National Forest Road.
Because out here in Atlanta, I'm gonna be doing a story in the future about Atlanta as the new Gotham. It's like, what's going on? Is Atlanta the new Gotham? We got the Joker, Gazi Kozo, we got Nature Boy, all these cults. We got Rashad Jamal's cult, we got Slim Thugs. Now we got the what was that? That new gang, the drug gang. That gang just got taken down, another 26 people. Shout out to the DA for taking that whole gang down. I think it's the drug money gang or something like that, or I forgot what they're called. But let me play this.
600-3 about 11:30 on Sunday morning. And when they got there, they found Adam Simjee of Apopka.
I mean, it's just getting crazy in Atlanta. I was at getting a falafel, and there's a pub right next door to it, and they're like, oh, last Saturday this lady was here and nobody's ever seen her since, nor her car. I'm like, damn, it's like Atlanta's crazy right now.
Florida dead. Investigators say that Yasmine Hider tried to rob Simjee and his girlfriend. Simjee pulled a gun of his own, started a shootout between the victim and the suspect.
But this is also showing his doctrine bleeding into other states, you know what I'm saying? Because not only is stuff popping off here in Atlanta, but stuff actually in other states like Alabama.
Another woman, Krystal Pinkins, was also at the scene. Hider had surgery Sunday night in Birmingham, survived. She and Pinkins are now charged with murder, kidnapping, and robbery.
And now take a look at the approximate location of where exactly this all happened. National Forest Road 603 is very close to both Devil's Den Falls and Chehaw Falls. So if you've ever been out there, you know that exactly how close both of those trails are to Chehaw State Park. We're also learning that the two women were living off the grid right near the scene.
So at the time of the shooting, Krystal Pinkins took off running. They tracked her using canines to a campsite. It was about 1.5 miles from the shooting. Now, when law enforcement found the camp, they say a 5-year-old came out holding a loaded shotgun. They later found out that the child was Pinkins' son. That child now in state custody.
As for the woman accused of pulling the trigger, Yasmine Hider continues to recover. She will be transported to jail when she is released from the hospital.
New at 11, and a Apopka man is dead after pulling over to help what he thought was a woman having car trouble. This is a real strange story here. The GoFundMe page has been set up to pay the burial costs for that 22-year-old Adam Simjee. He's on the web page here in a picture taken with his girlfriend. Now, both of them were on a trip through the Talladega National Forest in Alabama on Sunday when a woman flagged them down. According to investigators, that woman pulled out a gun, then led them into the forest. At one point, Simjee pulled out his own gun and shot the suspect. During the confrontation, though, Simjee was shot in the back and died. So the suspect, Yasmine Hider, was shot several times in the torso. She's in the hospital recovering. Hider is charged with murder, kidnapping, and robbery.
Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your...
All right, so yeah, we just covered all those. All right, boom. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, yeah, so we're gonna be dropping the the scratch sampler at the end of this month. We just got the developers and we're beta testing everything right now. So I'll give you all updates on that. We're going to drop videos and all that. I've just been holding off on the scratch stuff till this sampler comes out, because that's going to be, you know, very, very heavy when it drops. We've already getting a lot of good reception. You know, people are feeling designs. We're just working out stuff with the developer team right now. All right, so peace, y'all.
Wow, the power's out, sauerkraut, waterfall out, olive oil, bow wow, call, tau pow, south side, outside, pow, outline, missile thought, fire bounce, higher powers out now. I was outside, now my power, pow now. Eyes wide, should've speak utterly, upside down, camera obscura, power down, scuba, mama in Cuba, my it sounds good now. Out and about, title bout, bow, how loud, high loud, Mutai, Aztec, forearm, NASDAQ, abstract, fractal rockin', chow down, hazmat to do so diametrically outbound. Matter of fact, pass that ginger pop in the cooler than the medulla of Rick the ruler. Hula hooping with new bow downs from Nuba. That's that life of a king, got my crown now, feeling accomplished. Super looper fresh chocolate, collective conscious, young crunk in your town now. Via minor aircraft, snapping like a bear trap. Tijuana Air Max, chainmail gauntlet. Big Bertha earthquakes, 100 dB, 90 BPM, heavy hitting them triplets, 100-sided dice, rolling 79 twice. Get ready, we bringing the jazz back with the rhythm, we giving them influence on some Midwest liquid mission, tricky nicks and mixing, matching, scratching, rapping, action, Jackson making it happen, pap it, midi, patching, mapping with a pinch of magic, casting master sentences, with a gang of wicked vixens listening close to us, flipping different widgets, mystic digits, coast to coast, pole to pole, folding time, golden time. Overload on